That's right, you guys. We're back with the post-game video for One Piece Chapter 1164. That is right, a couple days have passed, the chapter has released, and now it's time to get back into the weeds of things and just see what everybody's takeaway of the chapter was. What are all the theories, the opinions, and all that fun stuff? We're about to dive in deep together. So, getting right into the mix, we're not going to waste any time here today. Top comment on the last video. They say, I think the only person that remembers that Barbell is on God Valia's side. Okay. Really? Look at this. Actually, the top comment, because that's me, and then boom. This is what you guys upvoted? And yeah, I think I'm the only person. Dude, I held the poll the other day on whether or not Barbell would have a high bounty, and I'm being so serious. Some people said, oh, who's Barbell? Who is this guy? I'm caught up to One Piece. I've never heard of this guy. Bro, what? What are we talking about? He is the Jimbei of the Rocks Pirates. He could still be alive today for all we know, man. The way I view Barbell is kind of like how people view Bogard. They're like, oh, you know, Bogard is Garp's Zoro. He should be a strong Israeli. Barbell, hear me out, guys. Theoretically, I think he could be in the running for when it comes to who's the strongest fishman in existence. Because there's not a lot of them out there, right? I'm not putting Hody Jones up there. Vanderdecken isn't going up there. I don't even think Arlong goes up there. It's really just Jimbei and Barbell? I mean, you could put Fisher Tiger up there, but he performed really badly in the flashback. But if we were to like upscale him, I guess he'd be a lot stronger. But either way, I think Barbell is that guy. Hopefully, he shows up soon. Second comment says, Kuma is low-key the GOAT of the story. He is. The more we get of Kuma, the more I do like him. In the beginning, I liked him, but for a very different reason. I liked him as a villain, but now that we got this entirely different side of him, it's like, okay, Kuma's pretty cool. Kuma's really freaking cool. Turns out, Roger's voice of all things can hear the thoughts of people who are Domi reversied. I suppose it's a setup for Luffy hearing Dorian Brogy through their transformations. You're so right. Huh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. See, look at that. The glory of the comment section, brother. I love it. I love it. To be fair, though, I don't know what Dorian Brogy could say to Luffy that would be impactful other than, hey, help us, Straw Hat. And then, of course, Luffy's going to say, I was going to do that anyways, guys. Well, okay, here's a thought. Dorian Brogy, alongside all the Giants of Elbaf, they know a decent amount about the Sun God. Maybe through the voice of all things, they try to coach Luffy, saying, hey, Luffy, the Sun God in the Elbaf text, he could do this. You should try it. And it's all through voice of all things. I think that right there could be pretty cool. Would it be plausible? Maybe not. Maybe that's what we could get in the future, but we'll see. We'll see. I do love the idea, though, saying that this could be set up for Luffy later. Because that is one thing we have to keep in mind, right? Domi Reversi, that is a problem we're currently going through in Elbaf right now. So outside of this flashback, all of this, everything we see from Rocks being domied is relevant. This comment says, Whitebeard is built different. I love Whitebeard, man. Maybe it's because I just got off of Marineford the other day, but yeah, Whitebeard is entirely built different. He's not like Kaido, not like Big Mom. Whitebeard was out here throwing hands with rocks. Next chapter, 100% Garp and Roger versus Xebec. There's no way we're switching away from this fight right now. Yeah, my thing is just how much of the fight we're actually gonna get. I could very much see Oda going with a couple of clashes, like, oh, here's a clash there, there's a clash there. I hope that's not the case. I hope we do get a prolonged fight. I want to see some, like, duo attacks, maybe like a Hakaku sovereignty between Roger and Garp. Maybe they do like a Kamusari Galaxy Impact combination. I hope we see a brutal 2v1 beatdown. But of course, Xebec though, right? He is currently a demon, so he should also have regeneration. So maybe Garp and Roger have to like work together to get through it. Like they're like, hey, how do you fight somebody who doesn't die? And then one of them's like, oh, let's try Conqueror's Haki. Let's like imbue it together or something. I think that would be pretty damn cool. One thing we do have to keep in mind though, is that Emu is still here. You know, while this is a 2v1 right now, this could easily turn into a 2v2. If Emu joins in, or if any of the God Knights join in, this could get really messy, considering the fact that the Marines are off the island, and Roger's crew are almost off the island. So they really are stranded here with a bunch of enemies. Domi Reversi seems to work off of anger-fear. The only person I can see withstanding it is Nika, who'll most likely laugh it off and wonder why he's growing fangs and horns without the mentality change, as he's always laughing or happy. It's 2:30 a.m. Why are we here, man? Yeah. I posted kind of late. One thing I found kind of interesting, you mentioned, oh yeah, like Luffy's gonna get horns and fangs. Funny enough, at the beginning of Elbaf, when Luffy was fighting Scopper, he had the Viking helmet, right? And he turned into Gear 5th. The Viking helmet and the horns actually merged with Luffy in that panel. Maybe that was foreshadowing. Maybe you're right, Luffy does get Domi Reversi'd, but because he's laughing, he's like, this is cool. I'm used to this. This isn't the first time I've had these, man. Maybe. The thing is, though, right? When it comes down to Domi Reversing Gear 5th, the one thing that could cook Luffy is simply his time limit. Time limits are a thing for One Piece. I mean, hell, Gear 3rd had a time limit for a while. Gear 4th had a time limit. He's overcome both of those hurdles. And now we just have to worry about the Gear 5th time limit. Obviously, we don't have like an actual time breakdown, but we do know that the more and more Luffy uses these abilities, the better he gets with them. That is why we don't see Gear 3rd or 4th getting nerfed anymore. It's because Luffy has overcome the downsides. Maybe here in Elbaf, this is where Luffy masters Gear 5th, whatever that looks like. If the God Knights had half the energy that Sai had in this video, then they actually might have accomplished something. They're not done yet. Hey. Gunko, MIA, Sommers didn't even get hit with Haki. He should be fine. Garling's been regenerating for 2 chapters. Maffy already fully regenerated. Manmire Girl out there somewhere. Like, these guys are still here. They're not done yet. And like I said, the 2v1 with Garp and Roger, this could easily get turned into like a 2v10. Easily. How will the God Knights perform if they fight them, though? Maybe not well. But maybe that's where Bogart shows up. You know, Bogart, Barbell, and the rest of them. Maybe we shouldn't be counting our chickens yet. The fight has just started, guys. The fight has just started. Oda saw this Mihawk edit and made a whole cover page with Mihawk and the rabbit. Yeah, the meme of Mihawk doing the whole rabbit pose, that's been around for a minute. So seeing it here, dude, whoever requested this, they're chronically online like all of us. They are. Rox got the King Riku vibes when Dofi was controlling him. Yeah, Rox was crying. He didn't want to do it. I wish we could hear more of Rox's inner monologue as he's chasing his wife and son. I think that would have been absolutely heartbreaking. But maybe that's why Oda didn't want to do it, right? He said, okay, this is too much, man. This is too much. Oh my God. When I saw this, I thought it said barbecue. I think I'm just hungry. Kuma is farming W's till this day. Absolute Giga Chad. Kuma is the true hero of God Valley. Whitebeard being the GOAT as always, yeah. It's one of those things where, like, Oda, he'll kill a character and then he'll make them awesome. Ace was this way. We got the Wano stuff. We got the ASL flashback. We got, like, the Hanafuda SPS where he just casually beat a warlord. Yeah, Ace today looks better than Ace at Marineford. Whitebeard kind of the same way, right? Whitebeard amazing at Marineford. But guess what? After he died, oh, here's this amazing clash with Roger. Oh my God. Here's Whitebeard at God Valley with the Rocks Pirates. Bro, there's something about dead characters that just makes Oda really lock in. Kuma's the same way. Of course, we could argue if Kuma's dead or not. That's up for debate. But hey, Kuma's technically frying right now, right? And here he is still farming those damn W's. Rox being my favorite character I've seen introduced to One Piece since Loki. Sad to see him go out like this, but I'm also getting this weird vibe that Rox, Roger, and Garp could have been friends. It makes me sad, man. They are friends. I mean, they're not like best friends. They're not like joining the same crew and singing Kumbaya, but they have interacted in the past, right? They seem like friendly rivals. I guess a good way to put it is that they could be seen as Kid Luffy and Law, maybe? Yeah, right? I think that's a fair comparison. $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. I feel like Emu is a literal rat king, like a mink that's a rat and a king. Or Emu might look like the 19 kings and queens all mashed together into one appearance, which would explain why everybody thought it was a monster and why Emu's voice is like 2 different voices at once. So this second part is what I believe as well. I think it wouldn't be a stretch to say that, yes, Emu could be all of them combined. Right? Oh, like, why is just one person king of the world? Well, it's not just one person. It's all the original 20. I think that is a really cool idea. That's where I'm at as well. And that would explain the distorted voice. And as far as like the blackened figure, I think that's still them right now. Maybe that's why they are this blackened figure blob, because they tried to merge together and that was what's left. I don't think that's a bad idea. Or they could just be hiding the appearance too because they're just so damn ugly. That could also be it. This comment says, Aris might be Shaggy. The reason why she cut comms to Loki might have something to do with their fugitivity from the Lelucia incident. So I've thought of this before, and trying to put the timeline together, it doesn't make a lot of sense because Lelucia got blown up right before Egghead Island. That was maybe a week ago, right? Let's be generous. It took 3 days to get to Elbaf. A day has passed 4 days. Egghead was like a day and a half. So yeah, almost about a week has passed. I do not think that is the reason she had to cut comms. I mean, hell, Sabo made it back to Kamabaka Queendom. So there's no reason why she'd have to cut comms 5 days later. I personally don't think so. I do not think she's a candidate for Shaggy. And then even going back to how Shaggy talks very timidly. They're like a noble, timid kind of person. Aris doesn't really speak like that, or at least that's what the Japanese translators have said. So yes, I do not think Aris is Shaggy yet. Unless she like got hit in the head and she became a different person, or maybe this event changed her and she's just lost all of her gusto. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And now for this next comment down here, they just say sigh with the clutch timing. Bro, you guys don't understand, man. I'm a night owl, brother. I'm up at all times of the day, except for the morning. I sleep until like 2 p.m. Where's Barbell and fan favorites in the same sentence? Hey. The 2026 fan polls haven't released yet, boys. The results are still being counted. Kuma, out here like he's in Hacksaw Ridge. Lord, let me say one more. Garp can hear the voice of all things. It's implied. Of course, Garp in this chapter doesn't say, oh, what is that noise? But in the panel where we see Rox talking, Garp and Roger's panels are intermingled with that. And of course, Garp does say, what is that after, he sees Rox crying. I'm pretty sure Garp can hear it. I think Garp and Dragon and Luffy, of course, I think the whole monkey clan has the voice of all things. Maybe that's me coping, but in my opinion, that is what I think right now, at least. Wow. He should be called Saint Kuma if that didn't have a connection with the Celestial Dragons. Such a wholesome dude. Rage baiting always affects certain mental-based Hakis. Cases: 1. Big Mom's constant cock Haki, release state. 2. Katakuri observation Haki dropped after he was enraged. 3. Kaido PTSD from Odin versus Zoro's attack. 4. Armaki Haki off after Shanks put the fear of God in him. 5. Ace Haki off when he went to save Luffy. And 6. Garp Haki off when he went in to save Kobe. Haki requires a stable mind and strong will. I agree with this last part. Yes, Haki does require a stable mind and strong will. I don't know if I'd count all of these as examples, though. Big Mom, yes. Katakuri, yes. Kaido, I don't think the PTSD made him turn off his Haki, right? I think Zoro did just actually slash through him. Aramaki, it's not like his Haki turned off. He simply got out of his Devil Fruit, which is kind of different in my opinion. Ace, I don't think his Haki turned off. I mean, Akainu easily burned Ace beforehand, so he just simply punched through him later. And then as far as Garp versus Shiryu goes, I think the same thing. Like, Shiryu was just going in for a nasty stab. Garp had to hit it. Like, it's not like, his Haki turned off and all of a sudden you can pierce Garp. I think Shiryu simply just stabbed him. But yeah, I agree with you base level, though. Haki does require a strong mind. Mansai, I didn't notice the page where Garp and Roger took deep breaths and unleashed Conqueror's Haki to the entire island. So I reread it again in the Raws, and it made me hyped. Even Emu had a reaction to them. Dude, you can't ignore it, man. You cannot ignore the Pirate King and Garp, the hero of the Marines. Size hair, looking like live action Luffy. Man, I knew this was gonna make me cry, but I'm already tearing up at Kill Me. That is pretty crazy, right? That's very extreme. I'm surprised Rox didn't say save me. Like, maybe that's embarrassing for a guy to say, right? Oh, Garp, Roger, please save me. Maybe his pride is making him say kill me, but I mean, his wife and family are still alive for the most part. Like, Rox could actually get saved here. Not saying there is a way to save him, but he's not even trying, man. It's so sad. This might be the voice of all things or telepathy. that the Elder Stars have. They were using it in an earlier chapter that might just be Emu's powers. That could be. I don't know. I think this is probably just the voice of all things, because the telepathy that the Elder Stars have, I'm assuming that's from the Mark of the Abyss and not from Domi Reversi. I think they're two different abilities. But yes, the Elder Stars, Gorosei, and God Knights all have telepathy. Emu is a peak rage baiter. Even against Demon Rocks in a 1v1, Whitebeard saved face and didn't outright lose. Yeah, Oda had to keep his record pristine, and he said, hey, if Whitebeard's gonna lose, you guys are not gonna see it. Which I do wonder, right? With Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom down for the count, will we see them again? Because from what we know of, right, those guys don't go down in one hit. While yeah, Rocks is the type of opponent where you wouldn't want to take a hit from them, this is still Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom we're talking about, right? They should be able to tank at least a couple of blows before going down for the count. I think there is a good chance they could get up. Maybe they join Garp and Roger. Or maybe, you know, just to play devil's advocate, maybe they get Domi Reversi'd now that they're down. And this could, you know, go back to what Sengoku told us about how, oh, it's Garp and Roger versus the Rocks Pirates. And we saw Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Rocks. Maybe that's what happens. He is up at all times, man. Gotta love the dedication, dude. I'm always up late. Right now, as I'm recording this video, I can't show you guys, but it is 4 a.m. Well, actually, I can. Yeah, 4 a.m. That is just how it is, brother. I work late, get off late, and then I record. I don't think I ever caught a video this fresh like this. Bro tried slipping in Stussy and Gloriosa. Hey, they're here! Hey. Stussy and Gloriosa. Stussy, the mad scientist thief. And then Gloriosa, the former queen of Amazon Lily. Yeah, they matter. Okay, I'm not saying that they could fight Rocks, but they could fight the Holy Knights. Easily. I cannot wait for this to get animated. Like, bro, imagine the block of Whitebeard and the impact. The Garp and Roger COC breath. Oh my god. Peak isn't the Rabbit Randolph from the Big Mom Pirates. I remember him from when Carrot committed rabbit on rabbit violence. Yes, Carrot electrocuted his ass, and that is the last we ever saw of him? Which kind of sucks. I thought it was a really cool Big Mom Pirate too. Randolph, man, make a comeback, brother. Big Mom getting mad over Kaido being attacked. Kuma coming in clutch. Chapter is giving me life. Definitely. Dragon's Saboti moment. Same pose and all. Yes. This island, brother. God Valley is the gift that keeps on giving. And no, I'm not talking about Santa Claus. Yes, that is it for today, guys. I know we didn't read through comments as long as usual, but it looks like we're all on the same page, right? We're all just hyped about God Valley. We're all looking forward to the fight next chapter. So I do not think I have to linger here for too long. We're all on the same page, brothers. And with that being said, spoilers should be dropping in the next couple of days. Of course, we will be there for that. I'm expecting Garp and Roger versus Xebec and the God Knights. Yep, that's right, guys. I'm doubling down. The God Knights are coming back. Damn it. They have to. Oda, please, man, give us something. Give Garling 1 feet, even if it's a stab from behind, even if it's nasty. We need something for the guy. But yeah. Tomorrow or the next day, we'll come back for predictions. I'll be dropping a pinned comment down below. Make sure to drop your one-line theories down there, and we might add it to the bingo sheet. Until then, though, you guys take care, peace out, and stay safe, brothers.